12 Rules for Life by Jordan B. Peterson. Chapter 5. Raise a kind and responsible child. The right way to raise our children is one of life's biggest quandaries, and it torments a lot of parents as they struggle to get it right. Because our children come into the world as blank slates, we're often paralyzed by the question of what to write on the people who will impact future generations. Niebauer suggests that the starting point for answering this question is to acknowledge innate human aggression. We all know how nasty kids can be to each other. Pretty much everyone has a bullying story from at least one point in their childhood. So, what if our primary concern was simply raising kind kids? Niebauer asserts that cultivating kindness requires more than being a friend to your child. In fact, successful parenting demands taking the risk that there may be times when your child doesn't like you. Although that might sting a little, take a moment to consider how this style of parenting would play out. After all, if you're focused on being your child's BFF, you're not focused on enforcing rules. Rather, your job is to ensure that they're only ever happy and having fun. And that's not going to help your child become a well-adjusted or likable adult. So, while it may not be fun to set boundaries and enforce them, it might help to remember that you're doing your child a great service by teaching them life lessons early on. After all, isn't it better for them to learn responsibility from a loving parent than from a society that will teach them in far less gentle ways? So, if you're eager to help your child become the best they can be, here are Niebauer's top tips for successful parenting. The first step is to avoid limiting the rules. While rules are absolutely necessary, if you have too many, your child will become frustrated and feel as though they're surrounded by obstacles. So, instead of controlling their lives down to the minutiae with rules like, your socks always have to match, or you must always be in bed by this time, focus on practical, real-world rules like showing respect, being kind, and never using violence unless in self-defense. Remember that these rules will help shape your child's core values. And honestly, would you rather have a child who's loving and respectful or a little monster whose socks always match? The next rule is to always use the least amount of force necessary. So, make sure you set clear rules with equally clear consequences and take care to make the punishment fit the crime. Knowing which punishments will be most effective for helping your child learn the consequences of their actions also requires an in-depth knowledge of your child. So get to know the unique person they are and understand when only a verbal correction is necessary and when to take away video games for a week. The third tip is to stand as a united front. If you are a two-parent household, make sure you let your child know that they can't pit you two against each other to get their own way. Likewise, be sure to support your partner even when they make mistakes. Lovingly acknowledging mistakes and working on them together is the key to growth and a happy home.